As it stands now, the Australian economy is very fragile. For example, one of the major exports of Australia is education. Now, as an industry, education doesn't have anything inherently bad with it. But what is bad is that is one of the major exports. So, realistically, if one of your big exports is something as minor as education, then your economy is either really small or really, really fragile. For example, mining and agriculture are the two big uh, industries of Australia, and they employ a small amount of the population. Australia is a very urban country, and their economy is pretty terrible, realistically. They're a rich country, but they're a rich country for magical reasons, which I do not understand. But pretty much what will happen is the Australian economy is too reliant on the Asian countries. So, like China, for example. Australia gets a lot of imports from China. So therefore, if China were to stop trading with Australia, then Australia's economy would go into the dirt. So, Australia should diversify its income and its richness by building up India. For example, leftists might say the Australian economy needs Indian workers. And I agree. Australia's economy does need Indian workers in India. I think both right and left should agree that India should become a wealthy nation. Well, not wealthy, a middle nation like China. China currently isn't a rich country, but it's a middle country. And if China all of a sudden decided that instead of giving away all its junk, it would keep it for itself, then I think China would become a rich country. So, let's say China does do that. Well, then Australia and all the other countries are in the dirt. So, I think there should be significant investments into creating Shanghai. So, for example, the way China works is they made special economic zones where cities were opened like more liberal economy to industrialize. For example, Shenzhen is a success, and Hong Kong is a free trade city. So yeah, pretty much, I think India should copy the same example. And if there is mega port cities built in India, which will be a problem because China, they've got the navigable rivers. China has very good inland waterways, but India not so much. So, yeah, pretty much a lot of money needs to be spent on roads and rail. And once that's done, and there's like special zones for manufacturing and billions upon money invested in India, I think India could have a successful city, and I think that it could be turned into a alternative to China, meaning that Australia will not be at the mercy of China, and that it, India will be a rich country. So yeah, I don't have much more to say except that is all. Also, another thing I'd like to mention is that Australia has waves of mass migration from one specific place. For example, originally it was the Mediterraneans, then it was like the Vietnamese, the Chinese, the Asians pretty much. So when Pauline Hanson got started, it's the Asians she was talking about. And now she wants 120, or is it more than 120,000 immigrants? So pretty much Pauline Hanson wants a lot of immigration, and the current wave of Indian immigration is nothing unique. So yeah, that is all.